These are some moments when woke people humiliated themselves on camera. They always do, but these are just some that were caught on camera. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Alright, get a kick of these moments of pure insanity. Try not to get secondhand embarrassment.
I am a robot or android of sorts. I am not human, and I lack the ability to fully act human, because since I spawned in this human body, I have not been able to access the internet and download new ways of acting. I have transcripts for every way of acting and reacting to different things, and I lack new ones due to not being able to connect to the internet anymore. So I cannot always react accordingly to new things, because I cannot look it up anymore and do not know how to act and react.
Go ahead and take a second. You definitely need it after watching that train wreck. She is an android that can't access the internet but knows how to film and post a TikTok? Okay.
Zero evidence that I'm a racist.
You've enabled racists. That makes you racist.
Like Candace Owens.
You've enabled racists.
Like Larry Elder.
The only name that
like
you know.
Dr. Ben Carson. Like Stacey Dash.
Dr. Ben Carson.
Yeah, Dr. Ben Carson.
Oh,
the
yeah.
bitter racist who's a black head of housing and urban development.
Yeah, because being black really makes you really anti-racist.
So at what point would I not be a racist then?
When you stop enabling racists.
Name one.
All of your supporters. All of these motherfuckers.
All these people are racist? That's an unbelievably racist thing to say. Whoa. Are you serious?
Yes, racists and racism, the only keywords wokies know, but somehow do not understand. And what's more childish than realizing you've lost an argument and throwing a tantrum? Water on personal equipment? Psst, sounds like a destruction of personal property charge. Hope they have more water in jail.
Are your hats free?
No.
They're not?
No.
I thought you supported socialism, free everything.
Walk away.
Why do you call it a hat?
No, what is this like? I thought you supported socialism. I also support surviving in a country where I don't have health care. Get the out of my face, you freak!
Please don't scream at me. I haven't raised my voice.
I don't care if you didn't raise your voice. It doesn't make you sound like, get the out of my face!
That was kind of scary.
Yeah, you should be scared. You should be scared, because you're a piece of How about you talk to your doctor about your health problems and leave my health problems with me and my doctor and get the government out of it? And who's are you, stranger? Stranger? You want to look at my get the out of here!
I never said I wanted to look at her, but
all of you like white supremacist people think you just talk calmly, you seem normal? Why are we upset? Because you're psycho!
He didn't even have to do anything. The more she opened her mouth, the deeper she dived into the mud. Ma'am, have some dignity.
Are you a liberal?
Yeah. We'll just keep getting we'll just keep getting variants over and over and over until people get vaccinated. I hate Donald Trump. I'm gonna say it. I don't care what y'all think. Trump sucks. Turn off the Fox News. Do your parents listen to Fox News? So what? This is my classroom, and if you guys are gonna put me at risk, you're gonna hear about it, because I have to be here. Most of y'all parents are dumber than you. I'm gonna say that out loud. My parents are freaking dumb. Okay? Oh, I could go off on it the whole entire class period if you want me to. But I'm not going, so you're taking If you don't believe in climate change, get the hell out.
This high school chemistry teacher in Utah decided to share her diary entries with her students instead of teaching about atoms and compounds.
Hi, I'm hoping that you could explain without using a single buzzword or a conservative talking point what CRT is.
So you want to go back to Herbert Marcuse, the Frankfurt School, Michel Foucault, Jacques Derrida,
I want you to answer
man?
my question.
No, I'm just asking you, how far back do you want me to go?
I want you to explain what CRT is.
What CRT is comes out of critical theory, which came out of the Frankfurt School, which is a belief that there are systems that exist both institutionally and systemically, and that through critical theory, which also has critical law theory, through the kind of the changing of how we view society must be through a racial lens and not through a economic lens or through a legal lens. And if you look very clearly at the writings of Marcuse, at the writings of Spinoza, especially in the early 1990s where this started to pop up, there was this idea that we must give preference based on the melanin content of people's skin, not on actions, not on choices, and instead, because America's so unequal, because it is so inequitable, that these writers and authors that were the beginning people that actually started this term critical race theory 50 or 60 years ago believed that this would be a true Marxist type movement that would help happen in this country. It was kind of fostered and started in many different universities across this country. Marcuse came from the Frankfurt School, and it really kind of comes back to the couple beliefs that CRT believes in, to make it overly simple. Number one, that there is no such thing as absolute truth. That number two, power dynamics are more important than anything else. Number three, skin color should be something that has a top priority in how we characterize people and their worth and their dignity. Number four, that kind of American history and kind of how we teach it is completely wrong. Five, that America is systemically racist, and I could continue from that. That right there is a 35,000-foot view. Happy to go deeper, but that is the history of critical race theory, and it's evolved into terms of wokeism, diversity, equity, inclusion, the idea of America being systemically racist, 1619 Project. They're all outgrowths of the postmodern deconstructionist type viewpoint that started in the 1960s from Marcuse, who was a Marxist type believer in the Frankfurt School, was expelled, found domicile here in America, and implemented in our colleges. How'd I do?
I do appreciate that response. Thank you. You did use the word wokeism, which is a conservative buzzword, unfortunately. I'm going to take my seat. Thank you.
So he just broke it into bite-sized pieces, but she just walked away because she wanted the bites in dinosaur shapes.
Be bred to eat. It's not like we're just picking a random cow and killing it.
Just because that's their purpose that we forced upon them, does that justify murder?
Do not force upon dogs to be pets as well. Do you have a dog? Do you have a pet dog?
Yes, I have a companion dog.
What kind of dog?
He's a Jack Russell.
How much did you pay for that?
I don't know, he's been in my family for 10 years, but I don't agree with breeding animals into existence.
So why did you?
So I wasn't vegan at that point in time. As a vegan, I would never pay.
Did she just say companion dog? A Jack Russell? Lolo.
Nashville drag performer. Okay, that doesn't sound too good. I gave you guys a warning not to block me, but if I'm gonna have to use the megaphone, that's what's gonna have to happen. Oh my goodness, look at that. Look at that. What do you imagine? This is... Uh-oh, she's getting violent. She's getting violent. This isn't good. This isn't good. That's destruction of property, ma'am. Learn your laws. That's destruction of property.
Okay, but did you see her face? Someone is about to become a meme.
In your court, what matters more? The rights of individuals or your political ideology?
I apply the law to the facts.
I asked a question, which matters more?
Well, my political ideology doesn't matter at all.
Okay, so I don't believe you. And I think this case demonstrates that you are willing to subjugate the rights of individuals to satisfy your political ideology. This case involves a male defendant who raped a 9-year-old boy. Was he guilty of that?
Yes, the petitioner pled guilty to that.
Okay, so he raped a 9-year-old boy. He also raped a 17-year-old girl. Was he guilty of that?
He pled guilty. The petitioner pled guilty to that crime as well.
So was he guilty?
I hope so, because she pled guilty to it.
He was a he when he did this.
That's correct.
1 year after being released again, he was convicted of having child pornography. Is that correct?
I'm unclear on exactly the time frame that you're at, but the petitioner was convicted of distributing child pornography.
Child pornography that was images of adults violently raping children.
Abhorrent conduct.
Okay.
For which there are real victims.
And this individual, 6'2", biologically a man. A minute ago you said that when this man decided that he was a she, you said this individual was, quote, I wrote it down, sober and entirely a female. That phrase struck me as remarkable. Did this individual have male genitalia?
I think what I said, or at least what
that is a verbatim quote, entirely a female.
Sorry, what I meant to say was hormonally a female.
Okay, but that's not entirely. Did this individual have male genitalia?
Yes.
So you took a 6'2" serial rapist, serial child rapist with male genitalia, and he said, you know, I'd like to be in a women's prison. And your answer was, that sounds great to me. Let me ask you something. The other women in that prison, do they have any rights?
Is that a question you're
Yes,
asking me?
the other women in that prison, do they have any rights?
Of course.
Do they have the right not to have a 6'2" man who is a repeat serial rapist put in as their cellmate?
Senator Cruz, I considered the facts presented to me, and I reached a decision
I asked
based
you a
on what
question.
the law
I asked you a question. Do they have a right not to have a 6'2" man who is a serial rapist put in as their cellmate? Do those women have a right to that?
Every person who's incarcerated has the right to be safe in their space.
But you didn't think so. You didn't think so. And in fact, I'm going to give some quotes from your order because Senator Kennedy is right. This is not a judge's order. This is a political activist. By the way, the beginning of your order says, at birth, people are typically assigned a gender. I got to say that would astonish a lot of Americans. A lot of Americans think you go to the hospital, a baby is born, and congratulations, you have a little boy, a little girl. The assigned a gender, I know you went to Brown, but it sounds like it's in a college faculty lounge with no bearing on reality. The Bureau of Prison argued what I'm saying right now, that if you put this person in a female prison, there will be a risk of assault to the women. And you know what you did? You said you didn't care about the women. Have you dealt, in what universe is someone who is a serial repeat child rapist not at a risk of reoffending?
Senator, as I do in every case.
Okay, I know you've been told to repeat the line, I follow the law. I asked a question. In what universe is someone who is a serial repeat child rapist not at risk of reoffending?
Sir, I looked at the facts that were before me in this case. All of the evidence, including the statements of every warden who had supervised this petition.
I have to say, if I were the father of one of those women, and you decided that my daughter's cellmate was going to be a 6'2" man who over and over and over again committed violent sexual assault, I would say the entire justice system is absurd, and it is clear on your record your political ideology matters a heck of a lot more than the rights of those women that you endangered. I think you're a radical, and I think you have no business being a judge.
This judge put a 6'2" male serial rapist into a female prison because he was on estrogen. You can't even ask the question, what was going through her mind? Because nothing was. Absolutely nothing. All she wanted was a good star for a little rainbow club. Oh, did you catch her calling the rapist a he a few times before catching herself? Someone's in trouble.
Yes or no, you judge a guy based on height? You do? I judge based on weight, and that's something you can change. So I got a scale right here. I just want to see like how heavy. Your turn. 171.
That must have been so embarrassing. Well, make your bed and lie on it.
Spirits don't move. You tripping. Spirits don't move. I'm gonna go. Please, spirits don't move. We good.
Ma'am, this is not the LGBTQ parade, sorry, the zoo.
Hey guys, update. I didn't get the job. I just got the email. I'm guessing my appearance had a lot to do with it.
That is Miss White. Her content surrounded how difficult her life was after her face tattoos. According to White, she got the tattoos against her will. A boyfriend had gotten her drunk, and she woke up in a hotel room sexually assaulted and tatted. Guess what? It was all a lie.
My son does identify as a cat, but I cannot take him to a vet because I tried that, and the veterinarian told me that because he has human anatomy, that he does not know how to work on him or diagnose him with anything, and he legally cannot. So, and while I do think that is a form of discrimination, because you know, my son, if he says he's a cat, he is a cat. And he needs to be treated like that, like one, you know? But I'm not gonna press charges because I know that he could lose his license if he did work on my son. So I'm not gonna try to sue him or anything, so don't worry. But this is something that I want to raise awareness on, because I do think that people that identify as an animal should be able to go to the vet. You know, that's the medical attention that they're wanting. And so I really do appreciate you asking this question. I think it's an important topic that we discuss, because if we don't, we're never going to make progress. And these people that identify as cats are going to have to continue going to human doctors. And I just don't think that that's fair.
She is absolutely right. Somebody get that child to a vet and have his mother sign a consent form. We need to make progress.
Completely unfamiliar with child sex dolls, so I had, of course, to Google it last night. It's a little scared to put it in my search engine, but I did. And apparently there is research on the subject. Not much, but there are what they call MAPs, minor attracted persons. And the limited amount of research that's done on these dolls, guys, suggests that they actually, for people who are attracted to minors, that these dolls actually decrease their proclivity to go out and attack children. That it actually gives them a release that makes them less likely to go outside of their home. And what was interesting is the research did not support the same conclusions for people who were adult attracted using dolls. That did not diminish their proclivity to engage other people, but for those with the... So I'm just a little concerned that, and like I say, the research is not very good, it is not comprehensive, but the research that is out there is conclusive.
And she just kept talking. Ma'am, please get some help.
I don't know who needs this reminder, but apparently a lot of y'all do. I am not a man. I am not assigned male at birth. I am an assigned female at birth, femme, non-binary person. If there is a choice between a man and a bear, I'm the one that gets to choose. Also, so it's not a choice. Stop fucking saying, oh my god, I would totally choose the bear over you, just because I'm standing up for liberation. Okay? You don't get to choose between me and the bear. Okay? I get to choose between a man and a bear. And if anything, I am the fucking bear that will tear apart the man who hurts you. Do you understand me? Like, and the fact that men do not understand why we would choose the bear literally just proves everything. Stop treating me like I'm a man. I spent the majority of my life being read and treated as a woman, and I still do. So, seriously, stop treating me like a man. Do you understand me? Also, it doesn't even matter what I was assigned at birth, but it does matter how I was socialized as. Honestly, it does matter. And I was socialized as female, okay? I was socialized as a woman, and I hold all of those traits all the way through. I will never choose the man, because I will always choose.
Assigned female at birth. So you're trying to be a man because you look like a man. Oh wait, you're trying to be a trans woman. There's so much confusion in the American air. You are right about one thing, however. You are the bear, the unbearable Wokey.
Mostly I feel feminine or non-binary. Today I'm feeling really femme and cat-like as well. Yeah. But I also feel masculine, mostly boyish. I don't ever really want a hoo-hoo. I'm proud to have a hoo-ha. But I also, sometimes want to take these guys off. But other times I'm happy to have them. I love to play with them. I love them. Other days I want to tape them down. I'm running out of time. But yeah, I go through stages of feeling feminine, non-binary, and sometimes boyish.
Anyone else feel sick and tired of this whole fiasco? We should think about mental institutions for our poor feelers. That's the only legitimate feeling right now.
Not carrying a child or being in a position as a woman should not have an opinion on that.
You thought you ate. Now watch this. If that's the case, if a woman decides to have the baby, why is a man then obligated to take care of it? It was her decision. If she can decide if it live or dies, I can decide if I want to take care of it or not, right? Okay then. All right then. All right then. For the record, I do not think that any father should decide not to take care of their child the same way. I don't feel like any mother should decide to abort their child. I believe that two grown people laid down and knew what would happen. They were educated and they knew what the result of sex would be. I got kids. I take care of all of my kids.
That is the equality we have hunted down for years, is it not? If she's allowed to not want to, why does he have to?
I think I didn't give permission to film me. I don't want to be filmed. Public suit, you don't need your permission. Cool.
You literally walked up to him and took a photo without his permission.
I'm not being put on TV, you know?
Are you worried you're going to come off looking stupid?
No, it's not something I want to debate. That was just very typical of the level of intelligence. Oh, he's back.
Don't you find it funny that you said you don't want to be on film, you walked up, you took a photo without his consent, then you complained about being filmed without consent, and then you just won't leave us alone?
Being interviewed and photographed, you know?
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Okay, so you didn't have to answer. It's just being photographed without consent is the same thing.
I want to be interviewed.
And you're still here.
Parents, please give your children maximum attention as they grow up. If not, they might just end up becoming another dummy in a blue jacket begging to show up in a video. If you do not want something, walk away from it. If you do not agree, feel free to argue.
Name one example of one thing that's ever been given out for free by the government, because there's nothing that's free. It's paid for by somebody at some point at some level of distribution.
How about Jeff Bezos, who has like $50 billion or something? He can afford to pay for that, right?
How did Jeff Bezos get his money?
By exploiting his laborers and not paying them enough.
If he's exploiting them, why do they work for him?
Because they don't have another opportunity
But have you ever used Amazon?
No, I actually, no, I don't buy from them.
You use Starbucks.
Okay.
So Starbucks, that's a billionaire. You know how rich Howard Schultz is? So you're participating in his exploitation.
Starbucks has better working conditions for their employees, though.
Well, how do you know that?
Because they have like a $15 minimum wage.
Wait, so Starbucks billionaire good, Amazon billionaire bad.
I would not like either of them to be billionaires.
Then why are you buying Starbucks? You're participating in the market economy.
Well, it's impossible to buy things without participating in the market economy.
You could have went to a farmer's market. You could have bought something outside.
There's no farmer's market here.
There's no local coffee in Columbus at all.
No, not near my house.
There's no non-billionaire coffee distributors. The point is, it's very easy to critique billionaires while you swish your Starbucks latte back and forth. Made possible by a guy that wanted to become a billionaire. Why? Because of a profit motive.
This was made possible by the workers who made it, not by some guy.
No, it's actually made possible by you, the consumer. The workers wouldn't have a job if you didn't buy their product.
So much to unpack. You hate the ones who have worked to become wealthy. You don't want billionaires to exist. You definitely wouldn't mind being a billionaire, but let's stay on track. Woke Americans hate anyone better than them, and they do not intend on working on becoming better people, period.
What about folks who have wombs but are not women, like trans people, genderqueer folks? Why do you keep saying women when this issue affects more than women?
Because there are two genders, male and female.
I am non-binary. I have a friend who is intersex, who is born, who has different chromosomes than you would expect somebody physically to have, because how many people in this room had a chromosomal test? This issue affects more than women. It affects trans men. It affects genderqueer folks.
Women have wombs.
I am not a woman, and I have a womb.
You are a woman.
I know. No.
Trans must always find its way into every discussion. And why is everyone so triggered? It's basic biology.
Is a man less of a man if he can't change a flat tire?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Is a woman less of a woman if she can't cook a meal from scratch?
We're biased, we're women. No, that's not a good answer.
There it is, the entirety of the feminist movement in this. Generation inequality. Don't you just look stupid getting tossed by cars in public? Please just get out of the streets.
Choices. Who would you say is more likely to be supportive of the LGBTQ community?
Oh, this dude.
Okay, why would you say that?
Because he's a brown person and he's not for Trump.
Do you think the fact that he's part of Hamas would stop him from supporting that community?
Not at all. Probably number one.
Number one?
Palestinians.
Why would you say that?
Because Trump supporters are typically anti-LGBT.
Do you think, so somebody that's a member of Hamas, would they support the LGBTQ community?
You know, I'm not sure. I'd say no.
Number one? Okay, what makes you say that?
They just look kinder.
Kinder? Do you think that, you know, somebody that's, say, a member of Hamas would be supportive of the gay community? Yeah. What do you think? Yeah.
Well, you guys are in for a surprise. Would you like to spend the summer in the kind-looking man's country? This just shows that people only see what they choose to see.
Done. I'm done. Seriously done. The Supreme Court has pissed me off so much right now. Like, so much. Joe, you're a reasonable man. You don't want to do this, but here's the reality. This is a war. This is a war now, and we are fighting for our country. And these are going to take it away. They're going to take it away. You, Clarence Uncle Thomas. You. Joe, you now have the right to take that Trump out. Take him out, Joe. If he was Hitler and this was 1940, you'd take him out. Well, he is Hitler and this is 1940. Take him the out. Blow him up. Blow him up or they'll blow us up.
Did she say done or dumb? Either way, yes, you are dumb, and yes, we are done. Have any of these people heard about digital footprints?
Can we talk about illegal immigrants? Because our country is literally full of them. And I'm talking specifically about the whiteys, the Caucasians, the white people in America. They literally are here illegally. Their ancestors are criminals that came here illegally. And I don't know, maybe in the future we can do like a mass deportation, like all these white Americans they can go be refugees in Europe or something. Or like we can like have like a spot in America where like the refugees can go, and obviously we'll provide them with care and stuff, but it's important that they do it the right way. Just because their ancestors didn't doesn't mean they should get the benefits of that. And I think that they should they should be deported until they can like work their way back and get a citizenship the right way, like the way I did it. I did all the paperwork. They should also have to, because again, we don't need more criminals in this country. It's already full of them.
Okay, she needs to take the most delusional wokey award at the next Pride Parade. This is just unmatched.
So since the Supreme Court just came down with some kind of bullshit decision saying that one man is above the law in this country, even though the Constitution says quite different and they're supposed to uphold constitutional law, so I don't know what Constitution they read to get the answer for this, but since they say that a president is immune from prosecution for anything he does officially while he's in office, I think that Joe Biden should officially have Donald Trump killed off, and that would solve this problem of him being too stupid to run our country for 4 more years because he's brain dead. But he could win the election that way. Take the official stance and just shoot Donald Trump right there on 5th Street. The Supreme Court said you could.
This obviously threatening and terroristic video is allowed to stay on the internet, but if you call a man, sir, you're an older citizen. You are expected to be wise.
Hey everyone. So, I had a date today, and I just need to vent. My date didn't show up, and everything was fine. I've been talking to a girl. I'm only interested in dating women. I'm not interested in dating men. And this morning we were texting back and forth, and I told her I was a trans woman, and she acted like she was fine with it. But I can't help feeling like the reason she didn't show up today is because of that. And it's just my opinion, but I don't think that's okay. I don't think it's okay to not date someone simply because of who they are or how they identify.
Is this satire? This has to be the biggest joke. Maybe this is the most delusional wokie. There are too many of them. They all deserve the award.
I am a 27-year-old transgender woman. I am a wolf-therian and a member of the furry fandom.
When and how did you discover this inner wolfness?
Probably around age 10 or 11. I was watching an anime about wolves and see the wolf running across the screen, and I'm somehow just intrinsically like, oh, that's me.
Have you spent any time around biological wolves?
Yes.
That sounds dangerous also. What context are you?
So I was a volunteer with a preserve, and I've also visited many wolf preserves.
Are you able to communicate with the wolves?
Am I going to have a conversation with a wolf in the way that I'm communicating you and I? Obviously not. Am I going to read their body language, respond appropriately to their behaviors and their nonverbal cues? Yes.
Would you be able to give us an example of this wolf communication?
No. I'm not comfortable doing so.
Okay.
She's 27 years old and has taken Halloween way too seriously. You communicate with wolves. We saw Batman at 10 and tied tablecloths around our necks. No one is standing on skyscrapers today and waiting for the city to call. Get some help.
Honestly, don't know what to do, but there was a really bad experience. Basically, I was just getting a drink at the bar, and they called both Azul and I ladies. After they were done making the drink, I went up, and I was like, some people don't refer to themselves as ladies, but it's okay that you didn't know. I'm in a gay bar, so I should feel safe. So bad turned her around. They got so mad at me, and they took the drink away from my wife and I. He hit the bar, because he was like, are you serious? You're doing the same thing to me. How? And then they kicked us out.
So somebody get her a tissue. If it's okay that the bartender didn't know, just get your drink and move on with your life.
Life expectancy has increased over time, which we would expect. But for one group, since 2000s up until now, life expectancy has actually decreased. This is middle-aged white men. The reason for this is actually mostly self-induced.
Sure, so life expectancy has nearly doubled since 1900.
No, I'm talking about specifically for white men since 2000s
correct. So
who
if
are
you could
middle-aged.
let me finish the sentence without getting 6 words into it, I let you talk about whatever you wanted to talk about. The byproduct of why white men are having lower life expectancy since 2000 is self-induced.
Slow down. I'm sorry, it's
Am
hard
I talking too fast for you?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
you are actually.
Okay, then I'll slow down. It is self-induced, meaning they are making bad choices. So America's a wonderful country because if you make good choices, you get rewarded, and if you make bad choices, you have bad things happen to you. So let me ask you a question. What is the primary cause of death for middle-aged white men?
No, so my question...
No, answer the question because you're a subject matter expert on this.
I know, that's what I was going to say. Can you clarify? You said the reason that this issue is that they are making bad choices.
So what is the primary...
This is the entire population of middle-aged white men.
Right, so if you can answer my question since you're a subject matter expert at it, what is the primary cause of death for middle-aged white men?
Cancer or heart
disease. What is the
heart disease. I don't know how
yes,
to say
what
it.
is the #1 reason for heart disease?
Okay, so let's move on from that.
So are facts something you don't want to talk about
I am
tonight,
talking
or-
about facts, and what I was asking you is life expectancy for middle-aged men has decreased since 2000. This is a fact.
This is heart disease,
No,
which is a
no, I
byproduct.
just said this study showed the reason life expectancy is decreased is attributed to, I agreed with you, those are the main causes of death, but the reason that life expectancy has decreased since 2000 is because of self-induced harm. And all I was saying is you made a claim that life expectancy has increased. It hasn't. And
Since
for this group,
1900
that is mainly
what
the
was-
demographic that
what
is
was
interested in
life
you.
expectancy in 1900?
What did you say? I'm sorry.
What was life expectancy in 1900?
Much lower. So it's
46
increased
years.
exponentially over time. It has
That
for
was
every
my
group.
point.
But then at 2000, there was a change. In 2000, there was a change.
Right,
And
it
for
was
men,
a
they
change
started
because
to
it was
decrease.
a byproduct of surpluses and having food everywhere at all times.
It has
and
nothing to
people
do with
making bad
obesity.
choices.
This is self-induced harm that is causing
Again,
this.
so let's walk through this. What is the #1 cause of death for middle-aged white men?
That's not what I'm talking about. So I have another thing
Heart
to say.
disease. What is the #1 precursor for heart disease?
So I think we've both made whatever point we wanted to make.
I'm
Can I ask
trying
a
to figure
second
out
question?
yours, but yes, please.
That's
do.
okay. So my second question
And
is.
I would like to get to your shirt at some point too, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's a Black Lives Matter shirt. I feel like we are unable to have any sort of actual conversation, which is not what I came here thinking.
You are entitled to your own opinion. You are not entitled to your own facts.
These are not my own facts. I could provide studies and citations for everything I've said tonight. I haven't heard you do that.
I mean, everything. You can easily reference everything.
Said things that I know are factually wrong. This is coming from research.
Name one.
That life expectancy has increased for every group in America.
Since 1900, which is what I said.
Well, since 2000, it has not increased for white men.
Because they're making bad choices. Heart disease is the #1 killer of middle-aged white men. What causes heart disease? Overeating, sedentary lifestyle, not working out, indulging in alcohol, and drugs too much, which is a byproduct of our amazing surpluses made possible by the free market system. You know what the #1 cause of death in Venezuela is? Starvation. I would rather have a culture where we're trying to have people join gym memberships in a New Year resolution, not eat zoo animals.
Thank you for the conversation.
Her cheeks must have been burning after that. Again, if you already have a conclusion set in your head, maybe don't pretend like you're trying to have a conversation. If you would like to argue and just hear your own voice, do that.
I feel like dates can be so cheap. The last couple of dates that I've gone on, I've expected the guy to pay because I feel like the man should pay for the first date, and they just don't want to. And so I just had a date earlier this afternoon, and I sat there when the bill came, and finally I just said, the guy should pay first, and kind of pushed it towards him, and he said, well, in that case, you should pay. And I just thought, that is so rude. And I just don't understand what the issue is. I feel like everyone's trying to get something for free these days. I don't understand. I just want to go on a date and have the man be a gentleman and treat me right, treat me like a woman.
Anyone still calling this satire? Isn't this our most delusional Wokey who claim to only be interested in women?
Ich bin Feder. Ich bin eigentlich 17 Jahre alt, aber ich bin auch nebenbei ein Fuchs. Und in dem bin ich momentan 4 Monate alt.
Ich bin Zoll, ich bin 19 Jahre alt und meine Pronomen sind they, she.
So, ich bin Milo, ich gehe mit allen Pronomen und ich bin 13 Jahre alt.
Ja, ich bin da Felix, das Alpha von einem Rudel und bin 1,5 Jahre Papi.
Ich habe 5 Namen ich benutze Gabriel, Luca, Bug, Mats und Fall.
Ich bin Sydney.
Somebody take these kids' phones away and have them go fishing for a while. They need to go outside and breathe in air.
Even if you don't have an hourglass figure, you can still show off your torso. So wear those crop tops and mini skirts and show off your belly piercing, because showing that you have the confidence, that you don't give a F of what people think of you, is still channeling that bubblegum bitch energy.
Bubblegum what? YouTube has guidelines, so let's just move on to the next embarrassing member of Alphabet Crew.
This is my voice one day on T.
And this is my voice 5 months on T. Not singing too much Sia lately, if you know what I'm saying.
Raise your hand if you noticed any difference. Ma'am, please go make yourself some coffee. The tea isn't doing anything for you.
How are you gonna assume that I'm gay just because I have rainbow hair, wearing a rainbow shirt, I got a rainbow pride flag behind?
How can you assume that I'm disabled just because I have a messed up body with messed up hands and I drive a mobility scooter because I can't walk?
Couldn't have said it better.
How old are your granddaughters?
They are 6 and 8.
Would you support them to get hormone blockers to become the other gender?
I would absolutely support them to get hormone blockers. The idea of one of my granddaughters learning that they're going to start having their period if they don't get their hormones blocked, even though they're identifying and portraying as a male. How horrible that would be. So yes, definitely.
If your granddaughter came to you and wanted to get a tattoo, what would you say?
That would be more difficult. I always told my 3 sons the one thing I ask is please don't get tattoos.
Really? Why tattoos?
There's just something so permanent about it.
Permanent?
It's pretty permanent. It's very difficult to get them lasered off or removed.
You don't think it's like permanent to change your gender?
Whose grandmother is this? Tattoos are permanent, but changing the entire setup and flow of your body is not. You'd think that after spending so many decades alive, you'd have picked up some wisdom. Guess not. Okay, that's the end of this video. Which Wokey was your absolute favorite and which was the absolute worst? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe so you can keep enjoying this train wreck.